Happy Wednesday, everybody out there. This is time for the Ravens Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media stuff information. So we are growing every day. We thank all of you for joining us here, almost at 150 on YouTube. We appreciate that. Like to get it up to as high as we can get it. So we appreciate all of you who have been watching. Facebook for a while didn't add almost any new people, and lately we have been really adding a lot of people on Facebook. So we want to thank you. Very natural growth here. None of that extra stuff, YouTube stuff you're seeing here. Real people are joining, and we thank you, and we appreciate all of you out there for checking us out here as well. Genesis Notary Services in Winchester, Virginia. If you know, you know. So definitely check us out here in the Winchester area. If you need a loan signing, process server, wedding officiant, licensed now in Maryland, West Virginia. Uh, Definitely too, we have a lot of good information for you. So definitely give us a call if you need any services in the Winchester VA area. If you're in the Shenandoah Valley area, we're happy to go ahead and get that squared away for you. See, Charles Harris, we are legalshield.com. Check us out, especially on Facebook, Harris Legal Shield on Facebook. Just put it in just like this. My last name, Harris Legal Shield, one word on Facebook. You'll go ahead, it'll pop right up. Put it in on Google, LinkedIn, whatever. If you need, definitely tell you. A lot of people right now enjoying the summer, enjoying the warm weather, everything like that. Good time to get some work done, some will done. It can really help you. Definitely refer to our Legal Shield live stream that's on the channel as well. So definitely check that out if you haven't done that. We will be, one more thing. RavenResports.company.site, our flagship as well. We got a link tonight if you check it out on X for Jackson holiday jerseys on there as well. So all you have to do is click the link. You can get the good price on that Jackson holiday jersey. We'd like to see more offense from Jackson, but you can get the jersey on there as well. Definitely some of the merchandise on there will change once we get the football season. So we're definitely going to start doing that as well. Fanatics, the links are everywhere. We definitely have an agreement with Fanatics where you can go ahead, click on the link, and you can get Fanatics stuff as well. Not just mostly what I focus on, though, with that is still Orioles and Ravens merchandise, Terps merchandise, stuff like that as well. You'll see that there. And also, to this Saturday night, instant reaction. So after, during, actually at the end part, will be on with the Orioles and the Royals. Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, two of the best shortstops, I think, in all of baseball, if not two of the best, even though Gunnar obviously is struggling lately. Two of the better shortstops, so definitely check that out. July 11th, we will have that for you as well. MLB Draft is that day, so 1 o'clock. So in years past when we've done this stream, we kind of done it during the draft, which was at nighttime, and the game was earlier. So this year it's kind of going to be the reverse. So the game will almost be over, right? And then we'll go ahead and talk about the MLB draft. So Orioles picking 7th Friday on Raven Sports. .blog. We're definitely going to talk about some of the names you might see for the Orioles have interest at the 7th pick and the early pick in the compensatory pick in early as well. So definitely check that out. All right. So let's get it going here. So the Ravens are coming up here. We are not that far away from training camp is here. We only have about 3 more weeks before training camp starts. NFL training camps will start. So we got 3 more of these type of content beforehand this week. We're going over record prediction next week. Ravens on the hot seat. And one of my favorite videos to close our off-season portion of Ravens content, State of the Franchise. So we're going to cover what the franchise looks like as a whole this year as well. But tonight, let's look at the schedule and let's go over some games now. All right. So right now in the NFL, you have, I'm looking at the schedule and we're going to do our NFL predictions video here. We're going to do that right before the season starts. Absolutely going to do that. it is very interesting to see how the league is a lot. There's a lot of teams clustered and clinging together in the same division. So there's a lot of sameness in the division. There's no really dominant team or three or four dominant. It's a lot of closeness. So what are the Ravens actually are? A lot of people are a little more down on the Ravens. A lot of the national media for sure is a little more down on the Ravens. But what do we look like as a whole here to start 2026? So what's our record going to be? First week in Indianapolis against the Colts and Daniel Jones. Um, this is like a departure for the Ravens even off the bat. Last couple of years had a game in Kansas City on the road on a Sunday on the first game of the season. Then you on the road last year, Buffalo. Usually when they get a week one game at home, it's usually a 1 o'clock home game. So this is the first time in a couple years I really remember where they've been on the road here to start against Indianapolis. Um, I've kind of been making fun of Chris Ballard for so long. I don't think the Colts are that good of a team as well. They have good parts on it. Jonathan Taylor's a good player. I think the offensive line is historically decent. Alex Pierce is a good receiver as well. Their defense, I think, has always been just kind of in the middle. I think this is kind of where they've kind of fell off. They may have hot sauce Gardner. I think that's going to help them. But I do think the Ravens should be ready to play. I think Minner's first game. I think they want to show somebody here early as well, make a statement early. So I'm taking the Ravens in the first game here. Game two against the New Orleans Saints. Um, this is another team I think I don't like them as much as other people do like them. They might surprise you. I'm not as big on their quarterback Tyler Shout as well. I think this is the first home game for the Ravens against a great defense. Sunday against that defense, I think we should have Justin Matabuke, we hope, at the start of the season. We're going to see Trey Henderson. This will be his first home game. This will be their first home game. I think there'll be a lot of energy as well. The Saints, I don't think their offense is that great, and the defenses I don't think is even great. They've lost a lot of guys on defense. I think the Ravens should be able to score Lamar in there. So Ravens, I like in that game there as well. Cowboys. The easy thing would be to say Baltimore should win this game because historically the Cowboys have never done well against the Ravens. I'm not sure they've ever beat the Ravens. Ask that. I don't think they've ever beat the Ravens. If they have, it's been many years. Yeah, they're 6-1 in the all-time series, so it's been a while since they beat them. So historically, they do well. I do kind of concern of a bit of a letdown. Dallas is a good enough team, and historically, the Ravens have not played well on the road in these games overseas. So this is not in Dallas, even though it's Sal's home game. This game it will be in Brazil. So I think the Cowboys are a little bit more used to this as well. Be a bit of a letdown. I like Dallas in that game as well. Back home in Baltimore against the Tennessee Titans. This was at one point I think as good as the Steelers rivalry, one of the better rivalries in the NFL. These two teams no longer in the same division, don't see each other as much, so there's a little less of that as well. I still think the Titans have a way to go. They're not, I don't think, in the Ravens class. I think the Ravens should handle this game pretty easily, especially after losing the week before. Cam Ward, we still don't know. I think he's kind of like everybody's kind of focusing on situation Cleveland, Shador, or whatever. Cam Ward is still a mystery. I mean, we still don't know yet if he's going to be good enough to actually go ahead and become a really good quarterback with the number one overall pick. They gave him a little bit more. They drafted a receiver Tate real high for him, etc. But we'll see. I still don't think they're in the Ravens class. Yes. I also believe that with the Falcons, the Ravens have historically again done well in Atlanta as well. And again, the quarterback, Penix. If you have Penix or you have a worse situation in Atlanta, there's no Kirk Cousins there as well. Definitely a strong quarterback matchup. Um, Ravens, I think defense will do very well against him. They do have B. John Robinson. I don't think Atlanta also too. It's just not a football city, even though it's the South, which sounds crazy. But I never like watch games in Atlanta and be like, even when they've had good teams, like, oh man, we're so I don't think the home field thing is a good thing. So like the Ravens here. So uh, the Browns. Um, Careful here with the Browns. I think this is where you really can get a trap game. Really can get a trap game. The Browns have been able to have close competitive games with the Ravens in recent years as well. So I do think it's a bit of a trap game as well. The Ravens do have a superior team. The Browns, and I know Myles Garrett on the field. So I think that was kind of the difference in recent years, even with the Browns teams not being very good. You had to someone Myles Garrett. Now he's not there. Did they do better in the long term getting rid of Garrett? Possibly not this year. Do like the Ravens in this game here as well. Bengals. Um, a lot of people think the Bengals are the best team in this division. Um, Definitely, too. I think they have the best quarterback wide receiver combination in the league when you talk about Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I think their offensive line is improving. Their offense will be just fine as long as they have Joe Burrow healthy. That is the $1 million, more like $50 million question in Cincinnati. Can you have a healthy Joe Burrow for the entirety of the season there? So that's huge for them. Defensively, I still don't love them. They seem to not be fixing the biggest problem that they have, and that's their back end. They've kind of worked on their front end. They definitely lost Trey Hendrickson, so this is going to be big for them. They definitely want to win this game, but I definitely still like the Ravens at home. They usually get one of these from Cincinnati. Buffalo, I think a lot of people, this is going to be very difficult for the Ravens to win this game. You're actually going to be in Buffalo. This is the Buffalo Bills. I anticipate sold out crowds for them all season long, and they're finally getting a new stadium. Um, they're finally getting a new stadium in there as well. They definitely upgraded, I think, offensively in the offseason, and they're not going to fall asleep on the Ravens, no matter what their record is. I think definitely too. I like the Bills in this one here. Jaguars. Jaguars. I think this is going to be Thursday night. So for a couple of years, they had a game on Thursday night with the Bengals. This year it's Jacksonville. I think the Bengals got tired of it. I think they kind of lobbied their way out of it. Bad matchup, I think, for the Jags. I don't know what Lawrence we have. I don't know. Lawrence seems to be he's a total enigma. He's good at times, great at times. Throws a gorgeous ball all the time. And then he'll throw like a lousy. Like I always think about the sunshine, like the joke in if you watch the movie, I remember the Titans. The guy, oh man, you threw the Denzel as the coach. He's, oh man, you threw this gorgeous ball way down the field there. You're fantastic, and then you can't pitch it 3 yards, or you throw a. That's Trevor Lawrence for you. Little volatile. This is why he doesn't win big games on the road. And I think that's why the Ravens should win this game. So Ravens only with 2 losses so far. I think they're actually going to win this game in Jacksonville versus Jacksonville. The Chargers. Chargers, I think really, really, this is going to be tough. I really do like the Chargers this year. This is going to be big for Jesse Minter. This is going to be his first time back playing against the Chargers, his former team and his former coach. They're going to be coming into M&T Bank Stadium. Harbaugh is going to be on the sideline as well. Former Ravens quarterback Jim Harbaugh is the coach for them. I think this is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be close. This is going to be physical. This is going to be all it's cracked up to be as far as two Titans. I think two of the better teams, no pun intended to the Titans, two of the better teams. I do think the Ravens will eke it out on a Monday night. This is to me, one of the biggest games on the schedule for fans and things like this. Is going to be fantastic stuff Monday night as well. A couple more Panthers. Um, I actually kind of like the Panthers. I actually do. Look, Bryce Young. I don't know how good he is. I don't know. I could say this. They've got the right idea. What I saw last year in Carolina. Let's not even hope that this guy becomes, the, 350 yards passing, all this other stuff. Take the ball out of his hands. Just throw the ball to the tight end. Just run the ball as much. It works. So I don't know if that's going to continue to work in Carolina. I think defensively, with that formula, though, they're not as formidable enough on defense as they could be. I do worry about this as well. I do think the Ravens should win, but I do worry about this as well because I think the Chargers game is going to be very, very tough for them. And you're definitely going to be looking ahead to next week. I think it's going to be a huge AFC matchup. And you could look past the team. They're good enough to win in this situation, but I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to stick with that. Texans rather. Texans, I think, I don't like the Ravens here. For years, I think what it was the Texans were just right behind Baltimore for years. Baltimore was in the upper echelon, and the Texans were kind of in that next level down. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think this is the best defense in the entire NFL, best pass rush in the entire NFL. That includes Pittsburgh or any other team you could think of, Philadelphia. I think the defense is fantastic. The only question I think there is for the Texans is, can you get Stroud to be a good enough quarterback to win you big games on the road? He's very good at home. As quiet as cat. You look at all of his metrics. He's much better at home than he is on the road. I think the Texans beat the Ravens there on the road. Last stretch of the season, notice something. A lot of the division is at the end. So the division is going to be decided right around Christmas time, regardless of what happens. Almost all the out of division games are over, except for week 13, Sunday, December 13th. The Bucks. I think the Bucks do have a shot here. I do. I think the Bucks are probably a little bit slept on. I don't love Ty Bowles as a coach. I hate to even say that because I like him individually. I think he's under that Dungy tree as well. But his teams just don't do anything enough for me on offense. They're kind of just he kind of reminds me of Jason Garrett on the side. It's just not enough. I like to see a little bit more from him there as well. No Mike Evans there as well. I think offensively they'll be really good. Baker Mayfield, I think, this might be one of the better reclamation stories in the history of the NFL. But I do like the Ravens in a late season game that they actually need. Boy, I'd love to be able to tell you that we're going to win this game in Pittsburgh. This is definitely first of two against the Squealers. Squealers, I think, they're going to be interesting. I don't know how good the Squealers are, frankly. I think if they were 12-4 here and in front of the division, it wouldn't completely shock me. But I just got the 8-8 kind of sinking feeling. It'll be interesting to see how they respond without Mike Tomlin. That'll be fascinating because I think with Tomlin there, as much as these Steel fans didn't like Tomlin or got tired of the message, blah blah blah, he would get you at least this far. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do with the new voice on the sideline from a guy. Him and Aaron also too. He's pretty much said this is going to be his last season. I don't know if they're not in it. I don't know if we're even going to have Aaron here, but as well, I'm going to take the Steelers though on the road. They usually do well against the Ravens here. Ravens, I think, do beat the Browns. I think the Browns are going to struggle a lot this year. I don't think the Browns, I don't know if they win 5 games. Their quarterbacking is just not great. The coaching hire Monken is, I don't know about it. They got rid of Garrett, which I think which is not a bad decision, but it's not going to help you in 2026. It's certainly not going to help you in 2026. If they get quarterbacking, I think they do have a shot defensively, but we'll see as well. I don't think they win many games. Bengals, I think, do win this game against the Ravens. I do think they usually go 1-1. I'm gonna take the Ravens in the home game. I'm gonna take the Bengals at the home as well. Prime Video. So the Bengals are getting this game at home on Christmas Eve, 8:15, Amazon Prime Video. The Bengals, I think, are going to be there. I do believe they're probably better than Pittsburgh. I don't think Cleveland will be. The Steelers might be. I think the Bengals, unless you have more Joe Burrow problems. But I think, assuming that he's going to be there, and that's all we can do in July is assume that you're going to have that. I do believe that the Bengals are going to be there. I think this game is going to be for the AFC North, possibly as well. The two best teams in the AFC North, the Bengals and the Ravens. And the Squealers, we don't know if it matters. I'm glad we got it at home. If they need it, they should win, I think. If they win this game and they get in the division, depending on if they need it or not, if they need it, they should beat Pittsburgh at home. Could be the last game in the NFL for Aaron Rodgers. There you go. So, 12-5. That's what I have for the Ravens. I think there is some concern. I'm a little less concerned than some of the national media and some of the things I've heard. You could say that purple colored glasses or whatever, but I think there are some concerns. I think center concerns me. I think some of the youth on offense concerns me. But I'm not overall worried about it. You got Lamar there. You got Henry there. You got Zay Flowers there. You still have Mark Andrews. I think you upgraded, I think, at the guard spot. I think whatever you lost, I think on offense should be good, especially with a healthy Lamar Jackson. I think that's going to be key. Defensively, you got much better. With Matabuka and Hendrickson, that's huge. You get those guys in there. That's a big deal, getting those guys healthy as well. There you go. So that's the Ravens record. I think they're going to go 12-5 this season. We will see. We're going to do the whole league as well. I think they're fighting for the division. All this stuff where they're going to be worse, that's just, I don't believe that. I don't buy that as well. Buffalo's going to be there. Houston's going to be there in the AFC. I don't think there's teams much better than the Ravens other than those two. Even if you say this, I'll give you Houston and I'll give you Buffalo. Denver's right there. Really good, obviously. Chargers. The Ravens are a really good team. Let's not get it twisted and think that they're going to fall way off or anything like that. All right. So now we've got some of my favorite lists here as well. So we've done last week. Let's check the Orioles. So last week we did the skill position guys, and we've been doing that the last few weeks. 9-5. Orioles, man, I don't know, man. All right, back to football. Orioles, not doing so great. We're going to talk about the Orioles at the end here, as we always do. Top 10 offensive linemen in the NFL, offensive tackles, rather, in 2026. There's a lot of sameness here with a lot of the offensive linemen. I think, like, you see, this is a position where if you're elite for a while. I don't think you have a lot of I looked at a lot of the names and looked at a lot of the metrics, the win rates, the PFF grades, and all that other stuff. Looked at the conditions. Okay, well, this guy's going to a lot of the same name. Some of the positions have moved. I think number one is new, but I think a lot of these guys are foundational pieces as well. It always changed the game forever. For those of you too young to remember, the greatest. I think one of the greatest things, not one of the greatest, but one of the biggest big-time hits when Joe Theismann got hit from the blind side by the great Lawrence Taylor, broke his leg, and that changed the game forever because all of a sudden, offensive line, left tackle became an important position. Guys started getting paid after that because Joe Theismann really never was the same always. So that's why your offensive linemen are important as well. There seems to be a bit of a shortage nowadays. I don't think we have a lot of great linemen either. I think that's also the other reason why you have a lot of the same guys, like because you didn't have a lot of guys always emerge. Number 10, Joe Alt from the Chargers. Chargers have two outstanding tackles. Joe Alt, I think this guy is a natural. I think he's definitely two in the draft. He was absolutely fantastic. I think the problem was, I mean, can he stay healthy? I think that's why it is as well. But I think definitely to this guy, whenever they're ready, he can play him at left tackle. He's fantastic. He did play a lot of left tackle last year. He should be back at right tackle with Rashawn Slater back. But I think one of the reasons why I like the Chargers is their great offensive line play. They know exactly what they are. They're going to run the ball. Powerful. You got a guy like this. They are really anchored by two great bookend tackles. I think two top 10 tackles. I think Joe Alt, number 10 for the Chargers as well. Andrew Thomas as well. Thomas, again, same thing last year and throughout his career, just got to keep him on the field. I know John Harbaugh, when he talks about the roster and taking the job as well, that this is one of the guys he was talking about. You have an outstanding left tackle there, and Andrew Thomas, 27 years old. His win rate and everything is fantastic here. I think Andrew Thomas, I think, is one of the better tackles in the league. Again, just got to keep him healthy. Got to keep him healthy. I think that's the thing. Now, you worrying about that with the guy who just came in, John Harbaugh, as hard as he pushes his players. But look, Andrew Thomas, I think, is a stud. I definitely have him top 10. Number 8, Lane Johnson for the Eagles, moving him down a bit. I think I had him higher a few years ago. Some people would not have him in the top 10 still because of all the injuries. He's going to be 36 years old. I still like him. I think you could still argue this is one of the best right tackles, if not the best right tackle in the league as well. This guy's just he never needs help, like when he's healthy. Never. You never see Lane Johnson, 2 or 3 guys. I've never seen him pushed over. I think he's extraordinarily, fundamentally sound. I don't even think he's a phenomenal athlete. You know, you got guys on here with phenomenal athleticism. Not that he isn't a good athlete, but I think he's fundamentally sound, very, very impressive as well. Getting older, so I think that's fair to drop him a little bit. But I think Lane Johnson is still the goods. I think the Eagles line is still really good. I think we're overcooking the grits if you don't like the Eagles line as well. Laramie Tunsil, number 7 for the Texans. Tunsil I've always liked. I think Tunsil has always been. I've had him top 10 a couple of times. 31 years old, true solid mountain of a man left tackle. This is exactly what you're looking for. What's wrong with him? I said it before, too many penalties. That's the only thing with this guy, why he isn't higher, why he isn't considered a 1-2 in the league. He gets too many penalties. He kind of loses himself a little bit to me on the field at times. That's probably my biggest I'm sorry, the Commanders. That's probably the only thing with me why he's not a little bit higher on the list, because I do like but I do like everything he does on the field. Excellent pass blocker. I think he's as good as a pass blocker as there is in the NFL as well. But just too many penalties. Too many penalties historically. Christian Darrisaw is just moving up. Darrisaw, I think, is fantastic as well. Obviously, the sad part about Darrisaw is who's going to play quarterback in Minnesota. I've said that a couple times, but this guy is fantastic. I definitely think Darrisaw could be number 1 on this list at some point. Not as good last year in some ways, and again, I think that was just a remnant of the Vikings kind of struggling with injuries and all the other stuff, struggling at quarterback. But I'm still a big believer in Christian Darrisaw. excellent pass blocker, I think, overall. Again, keeping him healthy on the field. Number 6, Christian Darrisaw. Number 5, Trent Williams. I think Trent Williams is, you could argue, he's the greatest offensive tackle in the history of the NFL. He's not right now. I'm putting him at 5. Don't get me wrong. Even at his advanced age, I think this guy is definitely still one of the better players in the entire NFL. Trent Williams still, you could make the argument for the best, but I think with injuries, missed some games. He's kind of missed games like several years now in a row. He's 37 years old now, so I think it's fair to say that he's not what he was, but not far. Not far. Very impressive, though, that he's still this high to me at his advanced age. And definitely the Niners line has gotten a little bit better. Last year was the first time where he missed games and they looked okay. I mean, they looked like a mess without him, like before as well. Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. I told you the Chargers, I think the bookends, I think, are fantastic as well. I think it's really the strength of the football team. Rashawn Slater, number 4, does everything well. Does everything well, in my opinion. I just think the injury last year was really a thing as well. But before that, he really was a stud going forward. So I'm fully confident that he can bounce back and come back and be a top gun. I love Slater. Slater, I think, is going to be top 5, I think, for a long time. Number 4, Rashawn Slater. One of these years, I'm going to say his name right. Jordan Malala. There you go. From the Eagles. And I think this guy is fantastic. I think he's so under the radar in terms of his talent. All he does is just get great, just wins all the time on a very good Eagles line. I kind of agree, slipped a little bit last year. You could argue the year before he was at 1. I don't think he was at 1, but I think he's really, really good. Um, Definitely 2. You talk about Lane Johnson, the run blocker. This guy's on the other side. He's the pass blocker. I think he's fantastic as well. This, like these top 5, a lot of them, and this is kind of the point of the list. If you say he's 1, I don't argue too much with that. I definitely think he's right there. Penei Sewell, number 2. Some people are gonna say, "What are you doing?" Penei Sewell, number 1. Like Penei Sewell, I think is 2. He is now finally is going to take over as good as he's been at the right tackle spot, and he's been there as well. Outstanding run blocker, outstanding period. Finally, he's going to take over a left tackle and everything like that. I got no problem with Penei Sewell with the injuries and everything like that. Lions, I think this guy it's a cheap cab ride around this guy. But number 1 is Tristan Wirfs of the Bucks. Wirfs, I think, a little bit concerned again about the injuries, but I think this guy is the cab ride, like, or nowadays Uber. You better. This guy never loses. Double teams, does get penalties at times. I don't like. That's about it. But Wirfs is super dominant. Super dominant. So I thought he was the best in the league last year. I think going forward, I think he's going to be the best going in 2026. Tristan Wirfs, I think, definitely 2 on a good Bucks offense as well. So definitely like Wirfs. Number 1 in the NFL. There you go. So Tristan Wirfs, the number 1 offensive lineman in the NFL. I think you see a lot of over 30 in the league. Guys, it's hard now with practice time and all this time. Guys, it's good for guys to develop. You talk about guys like Lane Johnson. You talk about guys like Trent Williams. You talk about guys are getting older, but still, I definitely see them attacking great. I really didn't see a lot of these young guys really emerge an offensive tackle. And it does take a while nowadays. It takes a while for these offensive tackles to go ahead and develop in some case. I do absolutely think that. All right. Let's get it going. It is MLB Draft Week. So let's get the music. All right, so this is the week of the MLB drafts. So definitely check it out. We're going to have instant reaction coverage on Saturday night. We're going to be talking about the MLB draft. We're going to be talking about the first round, and we're going to be talking about the game that's going on that day, the Orioles and Royals. We talked about the College World Series, some of those names that you're going to see in the draft. Also, to last week, we mentioned mostly players in the College World Series, but also to some of the top 10 picks. Otherwise, this week, let's go to the high school, right, guys. Interesting to see how a lot of these high school guys develop. How many more there is out there right now, a proposal to have increased the age limit on draft picks in the MLB. Don't know how that's going to go over yet. Not sure, but we will see how that plays out. Don't know yet. However, that's not the case this year. So we are going to see a lot of high school players in the MLB draft for sure. High school players are interesting. It's there are, to me, I think it's almost an underrated statement to say they're riskier to take. I guess that's obvious, but here at the top you see guys that are good, but baseball's kind of weird in that sense. It takes a while for guys to develop. You don't see guys ready for the majors right away. There's development for a long time. So it's where it behooves some teams that if I got to wait 5 years, it's okay to take a high school guy and he might get better. That's the thinking with a lot of these young high school players. I would say this class is much better than the previous year, just in my thoughts, because there's a lot of guys I think, even though they're high school guys, that aren't going to spend a ton of time in the minors as well. So let's go top 10 prospects in the 2026. Sorry about that. MLB draft. Brody Brumia from the Bishop Freeman in Mississippi. Definitely throws 100 miles an hour. I definitely think when you are a guy, you are a big, tall guy like he is, over 6 feet tall, about 6'4", 6'5", and you can throw 100 miles an hour, you definitely are going to get looked at, obviously, by the MLB draft. I definitely think this is a very high pick in this. I don't know if he goes in the first round, but maybe a late first, because this is developmental, in my opinion. He's got some control things from the videos I've seen of him. He's got some work to do, but I definitely think, look, when you're a big, tall guy, throw 100 miles an hour, you're definitely a guy that's worth looking at early in the draft. Bo Lawrence from the Church Episcopal in South Carolina as well. So he is really, really a big, tall third base prospect. Some people question if you can leave him at third base. I think he's still got some development to do at third base. When I see him, I don't know if he's going to be great defensively. You may have to move him to third base, but I'm sure in the minor leagues they're going to go ahead and try him at third base as well. But I definitely think I think the potential is there. Kind of looks like a Kobe Mayo in terms of that. But one thing I like about him is he hits to all fields. That's what I kept hearing, and I kept seeing it. It was like he hits to all fields. He's not just this guy who wants to be Deadpool. He wants to go ahead and hit to all fields, even though the frame, big, tall frame as well. Ozzie Guillen. No. Adrian Ruiz from Stony Brook High School in New York. This guy is going to be fascinating in the sense of, can you get to the first round of the draft of the MLB for defense? Because that's what you're going to get. This guy is not. And the defense is very interesting. As good as he is, range is fantastic. His throws are fantastic as well. He's going to be a decent enough hitter. I mean, he's not going to hit for power. I mean, he's a slap hitter as well. But you see the build of the shortstops, the bigger guys, the tall, not quite that. This is Ozzie Guillen. This is a guy who's going to give you great range, flash some glove, be good as well. I think he's going to hit some, but I think he's going to be a slap hitter. I don't think if you're looking for a power guy, this is not it over time as well. But definitely got a lot of ability here. Great speed as well. Adrian Ruiz, Carlos Bomson. I'm sorry, Carson Bowman. I'm sorry, got a lot of names. Got to get it right. Bowman as well. Good curveball when we seen him. So you talk about the other guy. You talk about Brody. Throws harder than him, I think, but he doesn't have this guy's control. I think this guy has an excellent curveball as well. What was the other thing? Yeah, top shelf, I think, as well. It's interesting to see if how much they value a guy who doesn't throw 400 miles an hour nowadays, even though he's a left-handed. So that'll be interesting to see if they go ahead and they value that a guy who doesn't throw 400 miles an hour. But definitely two excellent throwing, but excellent. But I love his control and I love his curveball. I think it's very impressive. Trevor Condon, big, strong outfielder from Georgia. Definitely too one of the best players in Georgia this season. Kind of stuck up on people as far as being a prospect a little bit, but became one of the I think he's the player of the year in Georgia. This is kind of what you're seeing now. You see now it's been a lot of good catchers, a lot of good shortstops, outfielder now. This guy, I definitely think the power is there, potential. This is what you want. You want a guy with power potential. That's definitely true here. Jared Granular, Huntington Beach, California. He's a pitcher. I mean, he's definitely too throws very hard as a pitcher as well. Some people think he could be an offensive prospect, so I think that's fascinating to some teams. Even though he's a pitcher, I definitely could see a team taking him as an offensive prospect. But it'll be fascinating to see how that. It depends on who takes him as well. I think offensively, I think he's got a lot of potential there as well. So I don't know if he's a two-way guy. They've kind of, I think a lot of these organizations kind of steered away from two-way guys in recent years, but I definitely think Granular, I think, is really good. Gio Rojas, number 4, Stolman Douglas. Now we're getting to the top of the first round. Rojas, I think, is eye-popping. I mean, when you see him, I mean, his stuff is just fantastic. Blows you away. Definitely, too. This guy's not going to stay in the minors long as a left-hander. Some control, but I think it definitely should work. Definitely, too, you could probably put him, if you wanted him as a closer prospect, I ain't worried about it right away. I think he definitely could be a closer for sure. He can start. They're not going to do that, but I think like a faster path if they want to go ahead and put him in the bullpen. I definitely think that's absolutely true. Eric Booth, definitely legs player, great speed. I think this is definitely, if you want the center fielder, the true center fielder, I definitely think this is a guy the Orioles, I think, will look at. You know how much they love those outfielders. It's kind of what Michael Elias's DNA is, getting a guy like this. I could absolutely see them turning this in at 7. I think it's probably if some other names are gone, but definitely I think if you have that there, it wouldn't shock me. They took a Eric Booth. The top 2, easy. Jacob Lombard from Gulliver Prep. Some people think these guys could be the number 1 overall pick. I'm not as high as far as that goes as well, but definitely in the top 10. Lombard, absolutely, I think is. I think offensively, this is not as impressed with his defense is much as Emerson. I think that's why Emerson is higher than him. But I think the bat is there. Everything else is there. I don't love him at shortstop as well. I might want to move him to third base. But from what I've seen, the throwing arm is absolutely there. But I definitely, that's the biggest thing between the two. Emerson, I think, has it all. I think Emerson is fantastic as well. I don't think he's quite as polished at the plate as and again, it's hard. It's a little bit harder with high school players because you don't watch whole games as much. You're just watching. But I don't see a guy offensively that's just gonna like right away. But the potential is there. Everything else is there. Definitely great throwing arm. Great power potential. Love his stance. Love the way he swing. Gorgeous swing. So Emerson definitely number one high school player in the draft. There you go. All right. So there you go. Number one high school player in the draft is as far as that goes, Grady Emerson. I'd be surprised if Lombard went ahead of him. I'm thinking that it'd be about the third pick where they take him as well. But whoever gets him is going to get an outstanding player. So definitely check that out. So let's check the Orioles score. All right. So 9-7 in the ninth inning. Right now, Orioles with 2 outs in the looks like the bottom of the ninth as well. Alonso is up at the plate. 1 for 4 is there. Picture of Craig Counsell. So they're gonna have to get somebody on base here. Kick from Webb. Dribbler to first base. Doing play-by-play here. And there's your ball game. 9-7. 9-7. The Cubbies over the Orioles. So another loss for the Orioles there as well. I had to check that out, do a little play-by-play. So 9-7. Orioles again losing 2 straight. Cubs are really good. Counsell as a manager, I've always really liked him as a manager. I think he's always been solid there. I think also too, he is what the Orioles are lacking on the margins. You don't see a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of bad plays when you watch Cubs getting Craig Counsell teams as well. So anyway, as well. Why is next Thursday on the screen? Next Thursday, for once, I'm actually not going to be here. Next Wednesday, I'm actually not going to be here. I'll be out of town next week for a couple days. So we're going to move it back to Thursday. Bravery Sports. I don't know how much posting I'm going to do while I'm on vacation with my wife for once. So I don't know. But Thursday night, I'll be here. We're going to do the podcast as well. Saturday, we are going to be here for the Orioles. The Orioles Instant Reaction. We're going to have that. That's going to be live on Driving to the Top channel and the Bravery Sports podcast. So we appreciate all of you out there that are watching. Real quick, I just want to thank all of you for watching. The numbers, my little modest little channel where I had 2 people watching. The first in 2022, if I had 6 people and 2 of them were my family, that was that was wild. Now we have hundreds of people watching on the views, hundreds of people out there interacting, whatever, and we appreciate it. This is Baltimore sports content. This is how it was presented a lot of times when I was growing up in Baltimore. Guys like when I was watching guys like Phil Wood and Jeff Rimmer and Nestor Aparicio and all those guys when I was in high school and coming up and a big sports fan, Stan the Fan Charles. This is how we are Baltimore sports content. This is specifically designed for people that don't live in Baltimore that follow the team. So definitely too, there's a lot of people that live here in Virginia, that live, I was just talking this week with the Heat in Oklahoma, that live in Chicago or live in different parts of the country. How can you follow the team? How can you stay connected to the team? You can watch us on our platforms is how. You can watch us on our Twitter page, our YouTube channel, our Twitch page. Some of y'all are watching on Kick. Some of y'all are watching on LinkedIn. Some of y'all are checking out our content. Some of y'all argue with me on Facebook and Twitter. So we appreciate you. all that. We're here, Oriole fans, to serve Oriole fans. Definitely, and two, check out the jerseys, man. Definitely go to raversports.company.site. Check out our jerseys. You haven't, if you've never done that, you can go ahead and get that Jackson Holiday jersey, that Cal Jr. jersey, that Ray Lewis jersey, the Orioles hat, the Raven stuff. You can go to all of our stuff and get it on our website. So definitely check it out. If you've never done it, tell somebody you know. Hey, ravensports.company.site. Check it out. So absolutely check out. And also too, if you don't want to do that, also fantastic. Definitely like and share the video. So if you've never done that, like and share the video. I see a lot of the content creators. Shout out to my man. I don't know him well, obviously, but Ryan getting us like a sleeper Ravens as well, the Flock Rundown. So check it out. So his platform is building as well. He's been on the show. We appreciate him doing that. And so I just want to thank all of you out there. Well, I had a minute here as well to thank all of you out there for taking the time with us on Wednesday night or whenever you're watching as well to go ahead and check us out here. All right. Yeah. I've been more cynical, obviously, because we haven't been doing as well lately. The Orioles. You just it's death by a thousand cuts. It's to just use that lame old expression because it's not just one thing. That's almost like, in a way, when you have problems in life and problems in sport, it's always easy if it's one thing. You know, if your biggest problem is you don't have a job, get one. You know, if your biggest problem is you don't have a woman go on a date, if your biggest problem is, fix one thing. Like this is several things that are issues right now for the Orioles. So let's go over that real quick. Designate Chandler Chomp for assignment. Trace Ryan Helsley on the 15-day DL and recall Jeremiah Jackson and Anthony Nunez from Norfolk as well. Are they going to carry three catchers? I think they're going to have to at some points this year. Chad Tomp and Self are major league players. They're just third string backup catchers. You could play them on Sunday. They're going to fight all season about that. Do you want to carry an extra roster spot for a guy? I don't hate the idea, but it'd be interesting to see how much they do that. Ryan Helsley went on a 15-day DL. We're going to go into that for sure. Jeremiah Jackson and Anthony Nunez recalled from Norfolk. Jackson should have never been down in the first place. Jackson should be starting, I think, but that's a whole nother thing. We can argue. Anthony Nunez back. Anthony Nunez, I think, is going to be up here most of the year, but definitely now with the injuries that the Orioles have there as well. Sent Yamil Dargo to Norfolk and Sam Huff to a minor league contract as well. Sent Don Keegan outright to a Chesapeake as well. So they're definitely looking at catchers. I don't think we're going to see Creed Williams as well. You're going to see guys like that as well. These two have been kind of like yo-yoing up and down. Nick Rackett and Cameron Weston optioned in Norfolk. I think this is just roster gymnastics, in my opinion. They've kind of brought him up sometimes. I think he's barely pitched, and same with Cameron Weston as well. With injuries in the back of these guys, I think these are guys they just kind of look at as they can just, okay, we can option them up and down. They're 4A players. I mean, of course, they'll never say that out loud, but that's I think that's why you keep seeing these guys go up and down. Couldn't they pitch one game? Sure. Are they going to do more than that? No, they're not. Keegan Aiken met with Dr. Gradmister for the evaluation on his elbow next week. Ryan Helsley will go through further testing on his elbow next week. Colin Shelby will visit Dr. Neal. I didn't put his last name in. I didn't put his first name in because of the character. Aiken, I don't think is going to play this year anymore. I think Keegan Aiken didn't look right all year. I thought he struggled with command. He struggled with some things. They put him back on the IL. It's very possible that you're going to have Keegan Aiken take Tommy John surgery, and you're not going to have Keegan Aiken at all this year. Ryan Helsley, same. this is twice now, real quick. He hasn't even hardly been off the AL. He didn't look good at all when he came in. He immediately gave up home runs in his first start. I think maybe he got a save. Did he get a save? Maybe he did, but not good. Helsley, when you start saying things like, well, we need to get another evaluation, that's not good. So I don't think you're going to have Helsley at all, or Aiken this year. We'll see. Maybe they give it a shot. We'll see. Sometimes a miracle happens, but as well, Colin Shelby, I think it's been for a while. I mean, I think, I don't. If he comes back, it'll be next year as well. Also, too, real quick, I didn't put that. Batista has been doing more. Fascinating to see now the way is paved now for Felix Batista if they can get him on the field. As far as that goes. All right. So, since June 2nd, the Orioles are averaging 4.2 runs a game down the stretch. They've struck out 48 times. They've struck out 48 times with 189 plate appearances, continuing a troubling trend of swinging this offense as well. Look, the offense is sputtering. I wrote about it at the blog this morning. You can't. They're just not getting. It's not only sputtering, even though they scored 7 runs tonight. You're not getting it when you need it. That's the big thing. You can have offense and you're not clicking on all cylinders and you're scoring a ton of runs all the time, but you need to get it when you need it. They're not doing that. They're not. Gunnar Henderson especially, just not when, they're leaving a lot of runners on base and everything like that. So 4.2 runs, you're striking out a whole lot, 180 pounds, a lot of swing miss. Swinging for the fences all the time and it's not working. Drawing 26 walks besides a respectable 3.33 OPP, Baltimore has struggled to convert base runners. Even with the attack of Tommy Hillian and Power, they've hit just 230 and a 694 OPS over that spot, illustrating why the offense continues to sputter. Again, not when you need it. Not when you need it. You're not getting offense when you need it. You're not getting runs when you need it as well. Even though you're getting walks, you're still not producing runs. So the whole point of getting walks, they're not even producing steals. Right. I don't see them on the base pass at all. Very station to station, very Earl Weaver-esque in terms of, okay, we get a 3-run home run and that's about it. And they're struggling at times. Biggest concerns, Jackson Holliday, 0 for 11. Colton Cowser, 0 for 91. 0 for 11. Colton Cowser, 0.91 average. Dylan Beavers, 125. Lodi Tavares, 143. I'll start back first. Tavares, I think this is kind of the real Tavares that we're hitting. He was available for a reason. Good defensive player, good enough center fielder. He's starting to struggle a little bit more and more when I've seen him. He really is giving you less and less on offense. Beavers, he just got back. I think, look, when you're a young player, that lack of time really struggles. Really, the biggest difference between veteran players, I think, and a lot of times and young players, is veteran players can miss time, whatever, bing, 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 come right in. A rookie like Beavers is still developing. It takes a while. I think that's what's happening with him. Cowser is in another funk. I think we've seen this a couple times now with Cowser. He got a stretch where he had home runs. Now he's back in the funk. I'm more and more concerned with Jackson Holliday. And again, everybody keeps saying to me, well, Jackson Holliday, he's still young, which is true. Doesn't mean I'm not writing him off completely as a player. No, I'm not doing that. But the numbers are not good. I mean, at some point we gotta look at that. He's not a rookie anymore, guys. I mean, he's still young, 22 years old. So that's true. But this is season 3 for him now. So it is a bit concerning when you see some of these numbers that he's got. He's hitting 183 I didn't calculate the numbers tonight, but that's not Holiday doesn't, to me, he doesn't look like a guy going in the right direction. Who's not? Obviously, we just saw some of these numbers. Colton Cowser, Dylan Beavers, Jackson Holiday, several guys on offense. It just didn't look good. You're not getting it when you need it, and you're not getting it at the bottom of the order at all. You're not. You got to get more production from the whole lineup. You can't. Alonso and Basayo can't score all your runs for you all the time. Like, you're gonna have to give him some help there as well. Who is hot? Brandon Young. Brandon Young, I think, is the ace of the staff. He should get the first start coming off the All-Star break. He's been very good. I definitely think Brandon Young's been fantastic. And we just mentioned Samuel Basayo and Pete Alonso. Shout out to Adley Rushman. Had a good week as well. Deserving of the All-Star game, I think. I'm going to disagree with some of the commentary that I've heard. He's undeserving of the All-Star game. You can be in the All-Star game and have a better start and finish. Not great as a whole. Basayo, I think, probably had he been the vet and Ashton Rushman had been the rookie, I think he would have made it. I think that's what it was. I think that's mostly what it was. No big problem with it. Alonso really deserved it, but I don't know if you put him ahead of Ben Rice and Kurtz, who definitely deserve, and Nick Kurtz of the Oakland A's, Ben Rice of the Yankees. I don't know if you could put him ahead of those guys. And Vladdy Guerrero got voted in. Vladdy, I don't think deserved in terms of numbers, but they voted him in, which is fine. So I don't know how many first basemen. I think that was as much to do with it as anything as well. Real quick, Royals, I think weekend, we already talked about it as well, and then we're going to have the All-Star break. Next Thursday, they're going to be off. You're going to have, except for the All-Star game, you're going to watch Home Run Derby on Monday, All-Star game, and then our Orioles start back again on Friday in Blaze Alexander. A lot of talk of him moving up in the order. No problem with that if they do. But, again, I know why they're not doing it, because he's not a long-term answer. I think for right now, with so many guys scuffling, I get it. But that's why I think they're not even bothering, because they don't really view him as a guy that's going to help them in the long term as well. He's a utility player playing well. All right. There you go. Thank you guys for joining us here. Definitely, too. You right there, all 35, 36 of you that are watching out there, no matter what the platforms are, definitely like and subscribe to the Raven Sports Podcast. Thursday night next week, 8 o'clock. We'll definitely we'll talk about the Orioles. We'll get ready for the second half of the MLB season as well. Ravens on the hot seat. We'll definitely talk about who needs to play well. For football players, it's a little different. Hot seat is a real thing. So we'll definitely check that out. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. Rather, we'll see you Saturday night.